Sue Henry and the professional Sticky Beak.
That's right.
Welcome to Business Insider.
Thanks very much.
So, we appreciate your time. We'll try not to make it too painful. You were telling me you've just blown back onto the coast after growing up here.
Yep.
4 years ago you came back and had to reintroduce yourself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tell us about that. Because you went away and did what?
Yeah, I've lived in a lot of the Australian states, but I've worked in every state in Australia, and I've got clients in most cities, with the exception of the Central Coast. So when I came back here, it was like I'd moved to a new town, not knowing anybody, which was quite a bizarre feeling because I'd grown up here, so I know the area quite well, but having never worked here or run my business here, it was quite a challenge when I first got back.
And was that a new business? You were bringing Sticky Beak to the coast?
No, I started my business 11 years ago, so we've had quite a lot of runs on the board in that time. I've co-authored 2 books and given a lot of commentary over the years.
And the focus then, you were saying, was Sue Henry?
Yeah, the focus was Sue Henry. I was on the professional speaking circuit offering seminars and how-tos for small business in sales, marketing, networking and small business growth. And I've, like I said, I've authored quite a lot. I've given commentary on quite a lot of small business and worked with a lot of dynamic type small businesses.
And you listen to your clients because they've been telling you what?
I did listen to my clients. They kept saying, we know how wonderful you are as Sue Henry, but you need to tell people what else it is that you can do.
And well, you told me about this in our pre-camera discussion, that you've done a Sticky Beak on.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the lightning bolt moments, and I guess this happens to a lot of business owners, we sometimes spend so much time working in our businesses, we forget to work on them. And it's an old saying, the book's been around for many years, and we all preach about it, but to actually sit down and take that time out has been a really valuable exercise for me. I put myself through my own Sticky Beak report process, and I looked at it and went, what a fantastic client this is going to be.
As long as she's got the money to pay, as I said earlier.
That's right.
So what did you find?
I found that our branding was inconsistent. So we've got several brand messages out there that are telling similar stories, but they're not quite gelling well together. And while they worked in different components over the years, now it's time to really consolidate them into the one solid brand.
And do you have a timeline on that?
Yeah.
Talking to a consultant about putting a timeline. Yes, stupid. Yeah. So when will that be sorted?
Next week. So it's being rolled out. We're trying to roll it out just before the end of the financial year so that we hit the ground running in the new financial year with it.
And what will your business look like in 12 months' time? What do you want it to?
Oh, it'll be significantly different. We've actually just finished training the first of the Sticky Beak consultants that are coming on board. So we're opening up a licensing type arrangement to have other people do what I do in different regions. So we're quite excited about that. Our first Sticky Beak, in fact, will be in the Newcastle Hunter area. And so we're hoping by this time next year we'll have 10 of those on board and the business will be beyond to other things.
And Sticky Beak TV?
Sticky Beak TV will be a driving force in what we do. We found that there's a niche in the marketplace to really take what the consumer wants and bring it to the business owner. So what we've done is we've spent a couple of months filming consumers telling us what they like and don't like when they're buying products and services, and the little things that make a difference. I think I shared this story with you earlier. There's a particular retailer that they have a chair in their waiting room. It's got a big rip in the chair and it looks untidy. We showed that photo to half a dozen consumers and they all says that they don't care. That if they treat their equipment like that, then they don't put a lot of thought and time into the quality of their products. Those sort of things can be really damaging to a business long term because subconsciously that stays with the consumer. They may be unlikely to go back to that store. Interestingly enough, we had somebody go and visit that store yesterday after 2 months of time lapse, and the broken chair's still there. So
they really don't care.
They really don't care, and it's quite heartbreaking when you see it because as an owner of a business, you invest a lot of time, you invest a lot of money, and you invest a lot of energy to getting customers. And then when we don't treat them well when they get there, it's going to cost us 3 times as much.
Indeed.
Yeah.
The mixers business is obviously going to change over the next 12 months for you.
Yeah.
Are you going to be on top of that business or are you going to be in that business? And I mean that in the nicest possible way.
On top of it, I came to a point with my mentor that, you know, I've got the kick up the backside that I give to my clients, if you like, and I need to step away and outsource and let the business grow without me trying to control it. And I think that's quite indicative of the types of customers that I work with as well. When they get to that point, they're ready to grow. It's very hard to let go of and delegate some of those tasks.
Indeed, it's tough for us to live through that.
Absolutely.
As advisors or consultants. Okay.
Yeah.
Work-life balance?
Yeah.
Does that exist?
I don't think it exists. In fact, one of my customers, she believes that it's about work-life harmony instead of balance, because, you know, you can be working with your laptop and your knees at 11 p.m. at night, but still enjoy a couple of hours off the next day to enjoy lunch. Is that work-life balance? I don't know.
Harmony.
But I, you know, my business revolves around, and the reason I started my business was so that I could spend more time with family and friends in a flexible manner. So, you know.
Well, that leads me to another reason that we need to have lunch, and you've always
I know.
flicked me off. So obviously there's no harmony here, Susan. We'll discuss this later. Let's talk about a rant. You're back on the Central Coast, 4 years. It's a new country. It's a new city.
Yeah.
Do you look at what happens here and you'd love to change something?
Absolutely. I would love to see just a very small notch of customer service go up. You know, we live in one of the most beautiful parts of Australia, and I say that well educated. You know, I've lived in Tasmania, I've lived in Victoria, I've lived in Queensland, and I've even spent an amount of time in Perth. Our beaches are beautiful, our food is glorious. You know, we're so close to the city centres, we've got so much to offer, yet we don't maximise it when people come here. And it breaks my heart to, you know, to be treated as a second-class citizen when you go to a restaurant or a theatre or a cafe, you know.
Why? Does it happen?
There's no need for it to happen. It costs nothing to smile. If you smile at somebody, Mark, they can't help but smile back at you. It's a natural human response. So even if we can just teach the people that are in customer service face-to-face roles here on the coast to smile more, we'll probably see significant growth in business. And we need to work together as a community to make that happen. It can't be left to one person or one group or one organisation. Everybody has to work together to make that happen.
Well, you've worked with clients and said that very thing to them, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yep.
And you go back and do audits and check how they're going.
Yep.
Are they still smiling generally after?
Most are. One of the things that we try and do in our sort of model of how to improve business is really look at what makes them unique as people and not discount that people side of things. You can read all the books on how to customer service and how to deliver, you know, quality interactions with your customer. But if you've got somebody, say, in the front of your business that's innately shy and struggles with communication with people, why put them in front of the business? Why not put somebody that is quite personable and teach them the other things? One of the biggest mistakes we make as business owners, we try and do it all ourselves. And we try and fit things into square boxes instead of taking a more flexible approach and looking for where and how best to use the talent that we already have in our businesses.
It's a big...
It's a big call.
Big call. An offer here is about business owners being as honest about their own skills.
Absolutely. And look, I'm certainly...
Well, you've just been through it.
I'm certainly far from perfect. And let me tell you, one of the best things I think I've ever done in my business, and it has been a consistent over the years, is that I do invest in myself. And I do have good, strong mentors around me that are not afraid to say, Sue, you've got to pick up your socks. You're not doing this, and for your business to work, you need to do this. And you've got to be gracious enough to take that on board. You know, we all like to hear we're doing a great job, but when we're not doing a great job, we don't like to hear that either.
Okay. You've listened to your clients once and refocused with Sticky Beak.
Yep.
If you did step outside, and we're actually using the analogy of superheroes, you know, Spider-Man, you know, the web's out of his hands and he, you know, flies through the air with that sort of stuff. If, you know, Wonder Woman, I remember her golden lasso and a lot of other things, but we won't go there now. if Sue Henry was that super person, you know, and you spoke to one of your customers or your clients, how would they describe that very unique power that Sue Henry might have?
Yeah, it'd probably be a little bit of a mix between Speedy Gonzales, because I'm quite quick at coming up with solutions and bringing them together, and Batman, being creative and innovative in how to fix a problem or solution or overcome a challenge. So, okay. Yeah.
And you're about to try and take those values and put them into Sticky Beak. Yeah. Sticky Beakers, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, it's important. One of the big things that I've found is finding the right people. And I'm happy to wait. If I have to wait 2 years to find the right people to bring into the organisation to train as Sticky Beak consultants, I'm happy to wait for those right people to appear. I think the biggest mistake small businesses do is panic and take on people that are 70%. You know, I think you're better off getting the values right and the cultural mix right to go forward.
Well, that's about honesty as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you need shared values with the people on your team, because if you've got different values, you're always going to have friction. Okay. Whether it's, you know, overt friction or whether it's something that's underlying, you can't quite work out what it is.
I'm just going back to Speedy Gonzales, the mix with Speedy Gonzales and a black Batman. The values you see as a client, it is speed, but it's focus and
it's speed, it's focus, it's innovation, and it's practical. And they're probably the things that I hear back time and time again. My clients come to me because they know if I don't know how to do it, I'll know somebody who does. And you know, one of my clients put it so succinctly, we're going to start using it as one of our taglines. It's everything for your small business success. They can come to us and find whether we can provide the solution or whether we, you know, connect them with the people that can.
Yeah, okay. Those values, do they go right the way through the speed and the flexibility and the consultation? I keep adding words to your description now. Are they represented in your systems?
Yeah, we're very flexible in how we work with our customers. In fact, one of the big things that I've found over the years is if you put too many constraints around a client and demand that they have things done by Friday at 4:30, they don't deliver. And they create their own stress around, I'm not good enough, you know, I'm never going to be able to get this done. So we build systems with them to make that easy. So for example, I have a client who's not great on the phone, so we do a lot of texting and a lot of email with them to make sure that they're still on track. And we'll do things like, you know, we'll send a text message, this is your conscience speaking, and you know, they know then they've got to pick up the phone or deliver on something that they've agreed to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you looked at those values and said, okay, well, if they are core, are they something, have you pinned them somewhere, or are they in here?
They're pretty much innate. They do come through in the business philosophy of, you know, providing education, inspiration and information to small businesses.
Okay, all right. I'm just challenged because it's a tough area. We want to see and talk to I guess, business leaders who know how to lead their business.
Yeah, and look, one of our key points of difference, I believe, is fun. I like a good laugh, and if
you smile too much.
If I'm not enjoying myself in the business, it's very hard for me to work with somebody that doesn't share that value. You know, if you, for example, even in my presentations, if you turn up to one of my presentations and expect to see a PowerPoint presentation, you're going to be really disappointed, because I like to engage the audience, have a bit of a laugh, because I think if people are being entertained and having some fun, they're going to remember what it is that's important to them and to take away and implement in their businesses.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned, do you have a tagline for Sticky Beak? Is there?
It will be everything for your small business success, with an underpinned message of, we have a solution no matter what your budget. And I think that's critical in today's world. I mean, we have self-guided products that people can buy, you know, ebooks and things like that, you know, under $50, which is all the information that they need to, if they're disciplined enough to follow that information.
If they're disciplined enough to follow that information.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the prices go up in different price points.
Yeah. All right. When you're out in the marketplace looking for, and you've almost found your first Sticky Beak licensee, have you gone out with a set of values and expectations?
Yeah, very important. Probably the top three that we look for is that fun element. Our clients that we work with are often in situations where they're overwhelmed by what's going on in their businesses, and they sometimes just need somebody to make them laugh and see the funny side of what's happening. And you know, once that stress moment is broken down, then they can step back and practically look at their business. So fun is a huge important quality. Somebody that asks fantastic questions, a sticky beak, is definitely what we're looking for, and somebody that understands the human side. These people that we're working with have families, they have other outside stresses apart from their business. We need to understand that, and we need to be compassionate in that thinking.
Wow, they're three big attributes.
They're pretty big attributes, and they're pretty solid to the foundations of everything that we do.
And as you said, what separates, I think, great employers and great people to work with is that they actually stand by those values, and you don't put people into those positions who are maybe a little shy or don't have a sense of humour or you know, are not great communicators or are self-focused.
Yeah.
None of those attributes build on your attributes.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
okay.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, I really appreciate your time. Yes, we do need to have
lunch,
coffee.
definitely,
yes,
definitely.
And David has been in touch and says, why can't we? So, yeah, we will.
Yep.
Really appreciate your time.
It's been wonderful. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks a lot.